Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Clown Questions, the show where there are no dumb questions. Today, I'm going to try and answer the question: does Harrison Butker hate women? I'll attempt to answer that question and a few more questions. And also, Goose is Loose will be joining us on the show today. So get ready for a great interview there. Who's down? Who's down to clown?
That's a clown question, bro.
So, did we speak too soon? Throwing another curveball at you. I'll talk Harrison Butker in a little bit. But did we speak too soon? And by we, I mean I, because last week, as my original finals pick so my second finals pick, I had the Nuggets winning in the first two iterations of my finals picks. I saw them go down 0-2 to the Timberwolves, and I thought, damn, Timberwolves, they're winning the finals. And the Timberwolves became my pick. They were my updated NBA Finals pick, and that is already looking like a horrible pick. Sorry to say for all the Minnesota fans, but yeah, they've lost 3 straight games. First time all season they've lost 3 straight at the hands of Nikola Jokic. Wolves are one loss away from elimination here. It's not looking great. And yes, there's a chance I'm speaking too soon about speaking too soon here, but low key, I think I'd like to change my pick, which leads me to my next question. Is Nikola Jokic the best big man ever? Damn near. Uh, Not actually. In my opinion, it would probably be Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq, of course, the most dominant player in NBA history. But if Jokic gets another ring, he's got 3 MVPs, 2 rings. And I have the same conversation every other podcast. I had it with Travis Kelsey. I had this with Mahomes. Caitlin Clark, of course. So yeah, Jokic isn't really in GOAT territory yet, but man, we have never seen a big man, come out and give you 10 assists a game in addition to dropping 40. And I don't know if anyone's seen those memes, but it'll be like a meme of a shot put player like chucking a whatever a shot put ball is, and they bring their arms so far behind their head it just looks ridiculous. And the caption is just Nikola Jokic after you play 23.9 seconds of perfect defense, he chucks one up at the shot clock buzzer and drains it. He's making a four-time defensive player of the year award winner. He's making him look silly. Making him look like barbecue chicken, and that's Draymond Green's words, not my own. But man, the Nuggets, they heard us all talking about the Wolves. They heard us comparing Ant to MJ, and they responded with a fury. Someone who should not be furious is Shohei Ohtani because, of course, Ipe Mizuhara has pleaded guilty officially. And the question here is they're making a Shohei Ohtani TV show, which is awesome. Lionsgate has that in production, apparently. And obviously, it's not going to be about Ohtani's playing career because people aren't even interested enough to watch a regular baseball game. They're not going to care enough to watch a show about playing baseball. But the gambling scandal, that's interesting. That makes good TV. Can't wait to see who they cast for Ipe Mizuhara. And I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, which is definitely not an inaccurate tag for me to be tabbed with. Um, but this TV show almost feels like more cover up, more of Rob Manfred saying, "Hey, Lionsgate, here's 200 million. Can you make us a TV show? Just help us out. Paint Ipe as the villain." Um, and of course, this is all conjecture. The FBI investigation has been very thorough, and as I stated earlier, Ipe Mizuhara did officially plead guilty to the crimes of stealing all this money from Shohei Ohtani. And my dad actually had very astute analysis of this. He sent me a text that goes as follows. The Kentucky Sports Talk channel said they think it's Ohtani who is gambling because his interpreter folded within 2 weeks and is already being charged, so nothing will get investigated. Kind of makes sense. I replied with, well, Ipe Mizuhara pleaded guilty, so case closed, right? His next text was, understood, but who pleads guilty and will take 25 years in prison instead of fighting it? That's why it's suspect. It all happened so fast. Nobody really understands it, and no one gets completely guilty that quickly. And my dad might have a point here, and that was the shocking thing to me is Ipe could be facing 30 years in prison. I guess when you steal a couple $1 million, I don't know why, but I assumed it would be like 5 years, but 30 years is crazy. And maybe my dad has a point here. If you knew you were going to get 30 years in prison, would you plead guilty immediately? I mean, I suppose it's one thing if like the evidence is there, it's clear like yep, we have a video of you robbing the bank. So it's like you could plead innocent here, but it's not doing you any favors. Maybe that's what Ipe was doing. Maybe the forensic accounting came out and there was cold hard proof that Ipe was a thief here. But yeah, it is interesting to immediately plead guilty to something that could send you for 30 years in prison. But maybe he pleaded guilty because he thinks there's an opportunity for a plea deal. Maybe pleading guilty initially could lessen his sentence as this case gets all figured out. But as I said, I'll conjecture, and I shouldn't say more to besmirch my favorite player and most people's favorite player in baseball. Who we should besmirch though is Harrison Butker, and I mentioned this at the top of the show. So I'll just get out with it and ask the question: does Harrison Butker hate women? Okay, I don't know if any of you guys go to Benedictine College. Actually, I do know some people that go to Benedictine College, so I'm not directly talking to them, but I figured I should mention some of my cousins attended there as I take a sip of Red Bull to curb the awkwardness. Does Harrison Butker hate women? Yes, I think he does. And he would probably say, "No, I have a wife. I don't how could I hate women? I'm married to a woman." Um, but if you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about Harrison Butker's speech at the Benedictine graduation. Let me just read you an excerpt from his speech, and I'll let you judge whether or not whether or not he hates women. Which the answer is yes, he hates women. But I'll let you judge. So here's part of Harrison Butker's speech. Oh dear, here it goes. Okay, straight from the man himself, Harrison Butker. Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you, my beautiful wife's Isabel would be the first to say that her life truly started when she started living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I cut off the beginning part of that quote, but he began that quote by saying, "Oh, the most diabolical lies that are told in this world are told specifically to you, the women." And he made sure we knew who that message was going towards, basically telling them, "Hey, I know you spent 4 years getting your degree. I know you're excited for a job you got coming up, but guess what? You're only here to be a mother. You're only here to be a wife. There's no other use for you as a woman in this world." So obviously, from my tone of voice, you can tell my thoughts on it. Harrison Butker hates women, and I will yell that from the rooftops, and it won't be until someone presses me on that, which I mean, good luck pressing me on this, but because there's 30,000 other people that disagree with you too. Over 30,000 people have signed a petition on change.org calling for the Chiefs to release kicker Harrison Butker after speaking at the private Catholic school's graduation. Um, Everyone go to change.org, sign the petition. Unfortunately, it's not going to do anything. The Chiefs just won a Super Bowl. I wouldn't say largely in part to Harrison Butker, but Harrison Butker set a Super Bowl record in that game. They're not getting rid of him. He's making a lot of money. He's one of the best kickers in the league. So unfortunately, none of my rambling about his misogyny is going to change any of this at all. But sign the petition. It couldn't hurt, right? Maybe it hurts his career, which good, yay for us. But yeah. I guess to Harrison Butker directly. I would say to you, get back in the kitchen, and shut up and kick. Okay, you don't need to be talking politics. Get back in the Chiefs practice arena and kick some field goals, because that's all your brain is good for, apparently. Someone who may not have had the best brain when they thought of this was Jaden Daniels and Malik Nabers. Not to bash them, because I have nothing but respect for these LSU phenoms. But my question here is, can Malik Nabers win the bet? So Malik Nabers and Jaden Daniels were two lottery picks in the NFL draft, both out of LSU. And apparently they made a $10,000 bet on which one of them would win Rookie of the Year. Apparently, Nabers said that they called off this bet recently after learning the rules, the league's rules about gambling. It's like, you didn't learn from Jonte Porter or, what's his name? Jameson Williams from the Lions. That's different. They're betting on their own games. Malik Nabers was betting on himself. But yeah, no, I mean, I could definitely see either of them winning. My bet for Rookie of the Year is probably Caleb Williams, but it doesn't matter. They called the bet off. It was probably, after one practice with Daniel Jones, Malik Nabers had to call up Jaden and say, "Yo, I can't win this. Sorry, I got DJ throwing me the ball." But speaking of throwing the ball, does Ronel Blanco's no-hitter count? So he had a no-hitter earlier this year, but he was just suspended 10 games after a glove check. They found a foreign substance on his glove. He's been suspended 10 games, probably pine tar or, Jiffy Lube or whatever a pitcher would use to gain an advantage in MLB. That's what Ronel had on his glove. And in my eyes, his no-hitter should be wiped from history books. At the very least, put an asterisk on there. If he ends up having a great career, leave him out of the Hall of Fame. It's tradition in baseball to find a weird reason to leave someone out of the Hall of Fame, like your Pete Rose, like your Barry Bonds. So Ronel, you can have 5 more no-hitters. In my eyes, none of them happened. Well, no, this one didn't happen. If you get another one, then sure, we'll let it slide, because they're obviously going to be checking his glove every time from now on. Let's get to our segments as I speed through the show. I'll give you a little context for this first year interruption with James Jones. And the context here, of course, goes back to the Austin Rivers debate that was sparked recently by Rivers himself. The debate here was Rivers stated confidently that he thought there were 30 players in the MLB that could switch sports tomorrow and play in the NFL. Now, obviously, everyone in the NFL came, to the opposition and said, "You're crazy, Rivers. There's no chance." And NBA players were probably agreeing with Rivers to an extent. They were saying, "Yeah, no, he's right. We could play in the NFL. Maybe not 30 of us, but yada, yada, yada. And I guess Austin Rivers and Packers legend James Jones kind of got into it. So I'll just start off with Austin Rivers' tweet after the initial scuffle, and then we'll get to first interruption with James Jones. Here's Austin Rivers on X at Austin Rivers 25. Been just sitting back listening to the chatter, but I can't help myself sometimes. LOL. James Jones, parentheses, the Packer guy, parentheses. I have never heard of you, but listen here, you little meathead. Fall back, LOL. Talking about you barely made it in the NBA. Bro, I was lottery pick who has already played 11 years. You played 8 or 9 seasons in the NFL. Make it make sense. By your own logic, you really barely made it. You sound salty. Beat it. Rivers is tweeting away, and James Jones is just out here speaking facts. So without further ado, here is first your interruption with Green Bay Packers legend James Jones.
All right, I see 11 seasons, 7 different teams, top 10 pick. I see averaging 9 points a game over your career, 2 rebounds, 2 assists over your career.
That's it?
Top 10 pick, you know what that sound like to me?
Sound like?
In the streets, we call you a bust, homeboy.
Oh.
That's what that sound like. Now, if my daddy played in the NBA and I was coming out of the draft, I'd probably be a top 10 pick too, homeboy. But once I get into the league, I ought to handle my business. Now, I led the league in touchdowns. I won a Super Bowl. In the highest league. You did none of that. You don't got no all-stars. You got no nothing. Well, you're not going to have that because you got 9 points, 2 assists, 2 steals in the game. 65% free throws. So I ain't even going to keep on going back and forth with you. All I'm going to say is you 6'4", 200, maybe you should have tried football. You might have had a better career, homeboy, because basketball was not your career with what I'm reading right here.
Woo! I don't even have too much to say about this one. Cooked. James Jones cooked him. He bodied him like Kendrick Lamar bodied Drake. And just, as a Packers fan, that's awesome to see. The fact that you should have played in the NFL is a burn is just amazing, and I love it. And I don't have anything to add to this conversation because although I may look enthusiastic and I am wearing a Packers jersey right now, I have the athletic ability of a mongoose. So let's be real here. Let's let James Jones' words speak for themselves. And let's let the star of the internet speak next, which is Goose at Goose's Looser. I'm a plug his at here, and I'm a insert the interview in my Premiere Pro program now. All right, now pulling up to the pod is a popular content creator. He has over 30,000 followers, and he has countless viral moments. He's the guy in the video. He likes to do everything. It is Goose. Goose, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you, Mr. Clown Emoji. It is a pleasure to be here. That was an awesome intro, and I'm ready to answer some clown questions.
Hell yeah. Well, let's get into it. I want to start off simple. Why do they call you Goose? Where did that come from?
So it stems from childhood. It's actually an inside joke between me and my brother, and I really latched onto it, and then I used it as I started my rap career as Young Goosey, and it kind of evolved into Goosey, then it kind of evolved into Goose is Loose. And also it has a couple other meanings to me. I guess whenever I see a goose, I kind of feel like I'm going in the right direction, like something good's about to happen in my life. It's kind of a weird thing that I've noticed, but every time I'm driving and I'll see a goose, I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right. Even though it's just subliminal, I don't know why it has that meaning to me now, but I kind of added that. And then I would also say geese are like tall and clumsy animals when you think of them, and I think I can relate to that. So for a plethora of reasons, I call myself a goose.
Sure. I feel the same way when I see like a scary clown hiding in an alleyway. I'm like, I must be in the right place. But so on the rebrand, you changed recently to Goose is Looser, as Stephen A would call it, but it's obviously Goose is Loose. You got that from OJ? Is that where you got that?
No, I did not.
That has nothing to do with Juice is Loose. This is completely different.
Oh, no, I didn't even think of that. I just No, it's just
Really?
Goose is loose.
It's
I
just,
swear, I didn't
you
even know.
swear?
Now,
Okay.
now I see it. Now I see it looking back. Yeah, it could be
Could be an OJ
I might need to
reference.
rebrand again after that. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you is about rebranding. Like, how do you do it, and like, what made you do that rebrand? Because I have the Matt clown emoji doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, so I feel like I need to change that at some point. I mean, it makes sense for clown questions to show, but
Yeah.
it's just not.
I think rebranding, I mean, I just kind of get to a point where I'm like, kind of old, sick of my old name. Like Goosey, I feel like has a like childish, like loosey goosey or goosey goosey gander, whatever you want. Like I feel like it has a bad connotation to it.
Yeah,
And then I was thinking about like streamer names like I Show Speed. Um, so Goose is loose. Like there's multiple components to the name, but then you can
yeah.
also go by that singular name. For you, clown Matt clown emoji.
I don't know. I was searching Twitter the other night, like the clown, Mr. Clown, like Duck Clown. They're all taken.
Yeah, that's also the hard part is finding names that are available.
Yeah, and you want
So
to have the same name on every platform because it's
yeah,
like when you're pumping out content like Goose, you don't want to be like, oh, I got it like 4 different ats. It's like no, you want to have
right.
one across everything. But so let's get into some of your viral moments. The one I really want to talk about is Stephen A. Smith. So for those who aren't familiar with Goose, he had a very viral moment with Stephen A. Smith where he called into his show and asked him to compare Lightning McQueen from the popular animated movie Cars to the likes of Michael Jordan and Tom Brady. So this question isn't as much about what he did in the moment, which was, calling you, what are you, you're a little baby wearing diapers or whatever he said. My question is more of what happened after that point. And the question is, how big of a hypocrite is Stephen A. Smith? Because he stole your whole flow, bar for bar.
So that's a good question. Yeah, so after that Lightning McQueen debates post on ESPN Sports Center, that was a super cool moment for me. I'm very appreciative for it. But then, yeah, as you were alluding to, he started going off talking about all these other cartoons after scolding me for being a grown ass man talking
Yeah.
about the movie Cars. But
Yep.
here he is talking about Veggie Tales. I saw he's talking about it's just
Fortnite.
Fortnite. Yeah, he wants his own Fortnite skin, even though he's never even touched the game, I'm guessing.
Yeah. He
But
just he roasted you and then he turned your one moment into like a whole set. He does it like on every show now. Like one
yeah,
segment like send me a cartoon character to talk about. Like it's just I
literally.
just thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's more so I would say as producers. Because I was in touch with one of the producers after the show, and he said how much he liked the segment. And I was talking, trying to get a job or an
Hmm.
internship or spark something with that connection. But
Yeah.
that kind of fell through. But where the hell are my residual checks? Where's my money? Like, where's my, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good team over there, though. They're killing it. I just don't, I mean, like Stephen A just reads what's ever in front of him, which you can't fault that guy, but his producers are, I mean, they stole the flow, but it's
Yeah.
working obviously better for them. I mean, it's a good combination, like a Stephen A, very analytical sports guy, and then just like fictitious content and mixes very well. And they're obviously killing it.
Yeah, no,
But give me
it's
my
funny,
checks.
but it's just like he roasted the hell out of you and then goes and does that. Another Stephen A question. You had a different tweet that didn't go quite as viral, but I
Mhm.
think it was you tweet at you're like Stephen A. I invited this girl over for dinner. I told her I can cook, but I can't even make a damn mac and cheese. Was there actually a girl coming over for that?
No, hell no. I was just so a
Oh,
lot of what you'll see on my Twitter is I see something, I try to respond as fast as possible.
you gotta be
To get the
first.
numbers to yeah, exactly. So I always shoot my shot. That one was just random. I'm pretty sure I was just laying in my bed, not wanting to get up, and I saw that right away. I turned on his post notifications so I could try to call him one day again. But yeah, I just responded right away, and for some reason that weird story popped into my head. But he ran with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I've replied a couple times with like, can you give me a starting five of all Harry Potter characters? I haven't heard back from him yet, so
Mhm.
maybe I just gotta keep asking him that
Yeah.
one.
Well, now it's like
Um,
overly flooded too. Like everybody's trying to get their tweets replied to. Some of them are pretty crazy, but
mhm. Yeah. So obviously, like we've said, you have a lot going on. You have a YouTube channel that's very popular. You are a rapper, of course. But I think one of your main things that you've been focused on right now is streaming, correct? So
Yes.
you've been on Kick a lot. Did you ever do Twitch? And I was wondering if you had any thoughts on kind of like how it seemed like the whole streaming culture all switched from Twitch to Kick, and it felt like it happened pretty fast too, you know?
Yeah. So I've never dabbled in Twitch really.
Okay. You were Kick from the start.
Yeah, I mean, like back in like high school, I might have like tried a Twitch stream or whatever, but I was on board with Kick as soon as I heard about it coming out. Twitch, in essence, is a very perceived as a softer platform where they are more keen to ban someone for something that might be not as offensive as the majority of the population might think.
Oh, okay.
So basically, their soft Twitch or Kick is kind of an advocate for free speech. You can do a lot more on Kick without seeing repercussions. But this did backfire, actually. Kick is under fire recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because a lot of people on the platform have taken it too far and they are harassing people, or they are getting mixed up in weird, even like pedophilic behavior.
Some drizzy stuff.
Yeah, some crazy Diddy, maybe Drizzy stuff going on over there.
Oh, geez.
So it is kind of its rapport has kind of suffered a little bit based on like this recent stuff. They're trying to get more signings, but it's essentially just a few rotten apples spoil the whole bunch, because now all these Twitch people are standing on their high horse and saying,
we're the best platform.
Yeah, it's always been Kick has never been up to the standard that Twitch has been, and Kick is trying their best by enforcing bans. Now they hadn't really enforced bans, but now they're cracking down and really saying, hey, we're a platform that's here to stay. But it's going to be interesting to see how that progresses over the next couple months. But I'm a team Kick because I believe in the vision, and I think there's a lot of opportunity within that site. So
Yeah, absolutely. Have a lot of the the biggest streamers, the Speeds and Kai Cenats of the world, have they switched over to Twitch or to Kick?
No, so Speed is on YouTube.
Oh, he's not even on Twitch.
No, he was on Twitch. He got banned on Twitch.
Oh, for showing his meat. I show meat.
I don't even know what it was for. It was like long ago. I think, oh my God, actually, I do know what it was for.
It's for I show meat, right?
No, that was on YouTube.
Oh,
and he didn't get banned for that.
Wow.
Because he's too much of like their, I guess, revenue income. I don't know. But he got banned on Twitch because he was in a cult, and it was like him, like another streamer and like a girl. And then he said, if we were the last two people on Earth, who's gonna stop me? Alluding to some heinous activity.
Yeah. Some Diddy.
Yeah, so then that prompted a ban from him.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty. That's like that one Always Sunny scene. It's like the implication. What are you talking about? So
and then Kai is on Twitch. So Kai's on Twitch, and then he's like their poster child, and he's just killing it over there. So Kick is looking for those big talents, but they just can't find anyone.
Yeah. So obviously you're big on Kick. What are kind of the main things you're streaming right now? Are you doing like Fortnite, or you're doing some, I know you got the new Samsung, so you're doing some IRL. What's kind of been your focus in terms of the Kick game recently?
So I'm moving into a new house in June, like June 1st, hopefully. And that's when I really want to start launching like a lot of cool ideas I have, because I think streaming is oversaturated now, where everyone's just doing what everyone else is doing. And I feel like there's a lot of room for innovation in the space. So I have a whole document of ideas. Right now, it's just kind of testing, making sure everything's working, seeing what the viewership is just standard. But it is a hard industry to try to break into, being creative, because no one wants to watch. Like, everyone wants to watch their favorite streamer play anything. Like, you'd watch your favorite streamer do anything, but it's like, how can you get attachment to someone with 2 viewers? They have no chat, and like, how can you build a connection between a streamer and a community when there's like no one watching, really? So that's why I'm trying to figure out what I can do to try to bring viewership to my channel. and then keep viewership and get everyone engaged. So there's a lot to think about, but June, I'm really going to start trying to implement a lot of these strategies that I have in my head and see if it works.
Very cool. So speaking of strategies, one of the bigger strategies for content creators is in this day and age is AI, artificial intelligence. I kind of wanted to hear, because I talked to you about this briefly, but I kind of wanted to hear it from you. What are your thoughts about using like AI to make content? Do you think, are you go by the book? I'm only making my own original content because I can see pros and cons to it,
I think it depends on how you use it. Personally, I use AI a lot in my graphic work, or if I'm trying to build like a banner for my channel or something, I'll go in and I'll use DALL-E, which is part of ChatGPT 4, where you can text the image. I think that's pretty standard nowadays, but
that's what I use for the Clown Questions logo.
Yeah, there you go. And then there's like a lot of other apps as well where you can edit certain parts of it, or you can get automatic like color grading. Like there's a lot of cool tools out there. I think it's going to get a lot crazier before the end of the year even. You're going to see a lot of video tools coming out. There already are some for like captions, or like I know we were talking about that, captions editing, instant like cutting between different clips or whatever. But ChatGPT 4.0 just came out, or they just showed the teaser for that, and it's basically like Jarvis. Like if you have your phone, it can see things, it can talk to you, and it does it in the processing time of a human. It's very interesting. If you look up just ChatGPT 4 and then you can watch the videos later or whatever, but it's actually kind of scary, and it's like that. But my content brain is like thinking like, how can I use that and implement it into streaming? Because no one does that. It's a unique thing. People would probably come to watch that. So I'm trying to think, how can I use AI to implement it into streaming, especially with all these new tools on the horizon. The world's about to change, which is cool, scary.
Yeah. Well, that's the scary part. It's like one of these days, you or me are going to be in a courtroom, and they're going to show us a video of us doing something that we never did, but it looks indistinguishable. But what do you think about like those, you go on TikTok and you see those movie accounts where they'll just post like hundreds of 30-second clips from the same movie. And I'm assuming they're using AI. Otherwise, they're very dedicated movie boys, chop movie boy.
I'm guessing that there's like definitely a tool. I mean, there's so many bot accounts, not even with just movies, but like you watch like a video where it's just a robotic voice. It's like AI pictures that are just like basic transitions. Like that's kind of, I guess, the full AI package that you get right now. A full, like, because I guarantee you people are making short form videos 100% AI. They might be garbage now, but obviously they're going to keep getting refined. Have you seen those NBA player press conferences where it's like the lip sync and it's like they change the voice?
Yeah, my dad kept sending me those. He's like, did LeBron really say this? I'm like, dude, come on. No, he didn't say that Michael Jordan is better than him in AI. No, but yeah, man, I don't know. AI is scary, and I figured you'd have some thoughts on it. So I wanted to ask you about that. But next, if you would like to do a new segment with me, a new segment presented by no one, we could do that.
I am down.
All right. So this segment is called Rank Those Streamers. Okay. So I'm going to give you 3 streamers, and you got to rank them 1 to 3. All right.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
You sure?
I think so.
All right. The 3 streamers are Andrew Tate, Sneeko, and Neon. Rank them.
Neon's 3. Neon's the worst. He could get trapped in Dubai again. Between Andrew Tate and Sneeko, Andrew Tate's fall off should be studied. It's probably the worst I've ever seen. On Twitter, like he just doesn't even, I don't know. It's embarrassing to watch any 3 of those. Andrew Tate, when he was hyped up and he was actually like, I mean, I thought a lot of his stuff was funny, but now he's fully became a grifter on Twitter and just is pandering to one-sided politics. I don't know. I could
What's
get
a
into this.
grifter?
Just like you keep repeating ideas
Okay. Yeah.
that a certain group of people agree with, and you just really harp on that.
The toxic masculine community.
Yeah, so get like that echo chamber kind of feel. Sneako's kind of pulled away from that, like overly masculine, like red pill content, because he has admitted to being a grifter, like when it was popular, and like when Andrew Tate was doing his stuff, he's admitted to pulling back on that content because it's not trending anymore, which I think is funny. He's just a funny guy. He has like some pretty bad takes, but he stands by them, and he's always grinding and like trying to boost his exposure in certain creative ways. So I respect Sneeko for that. I would never tune into one of his streams, especially on Rumble.
Yeah.
But I respect him as a content creator. Yeah, Neon is just built on fraudulency. I don't even know if that's a word, but like,
No, it sounds like a word.
he's fraudulent. Like, he bots his viewers. He bots his
really?
Instagram likes. He bots his Twitter. Like, yeah, this kid's not averaging 60,000 viewers. He's averaging probably like 4,000 max. Going down. In his peak, he probably averaged like 15, but I think he's down to probably like 5,000 now. His content's garbage. There's nothing going for him. He lost connections with all his friends to try to make money promoting OnlyFans. So he's down a terrible path, and I hope the worst for him. And no streamer is ever going to collaborate with him because no one takes him seriously, and he built himself a hole that he's never going to get out of. I hope the worst.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. You mentioned Rumble. This wasn't actually one of my questions, but what do you think about Rumble? Is it more of like a YouTube, or do they have live streaming on there as well?
So like Sneako's pretty much their only live streamer right now. I mean, Andrew Tate and his brother have a show on there, like
Sure.
the Emergency, whatever.
That's where Steve Will Do It stuff is all now, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't like Rumble. He had a contract with them, and then he like kind of, I mean, once his contract ended, he streams on Kick now.
I've seen like him posting
Rumble,
full videos on Twitter because he
Yeah.
got banned from YouTube. So
yeah, he's trying to build his main platform to be X and post videos that way. Which we can touch on that in a second. Why I don't think that's a good idea, but Rumble in general, I think, is like YouTube for conservatives. It's like all conservative content as well, so it's a lot of red pill stuff there. But I think it's a cool concept. I think a lot of people are tuning in. I mean, their viewership looks good on their side. But I would not go to Rumble for anything.
sure. And to touch on what you just mentioned, not to call you out, but you said you're not a fan of like the posting the full length content on X.
So I think,
and I said not to call you out because I saw you posted a full podcast on there.
Yeah, I mean, I tried it. I think there's a lot of potential there in the future for making really, really good content on X. I think they just need a couple tweaks to like how your profile looks. I think if they had a videos tab, I think if they had like a better reply system, like comment section, I think if they made a couple changes to make it more user friendly for videos. And with the case of Steve Will Do It, so he recently just started using X and going hard on X. I'm one of his X subscribers, so I can see like for $5 a month. I just paid for 1 month, but you can see like private tweets of subscribers or whatever. But a lot of his stuff has kind of turned into a bunch of people asking for money in his comments, and it just kind of become this. He is like a philanthropist, but it's also like no one's really talking to Steve. It's just like a group of people glazing him, hoping that they're going to get money out of it. And he posts his X videos, which I think are really good. I mean, it's like his old YouTube videos. I'm a big fan. I love watching those.
Yeah.
But he makes the promise that he's giving out $5,000 to someone who reposts it and likes it and gives their opinions. But what I've seen so far is people as fast as possible liking it, retweeting it, and then just posting like the most bland comment you can and probably not watching the full thing through because it's kind of turned into a giveaway.
There first? Yeah.
It's who's there first. It's kind of turned into a giveaway rather than if you want to sit down and enjoy my content. I would love that. But it's like I think also if X released retention analytics, because you can't really tell how much views a video actually has. Because every time you scroll past it, it's going to get another impression. So for the sake of Steve, I love Steve. I think it's a good community that he's fostered, but I just think a lot of people are in there for the wrong reasons. And I think that the videos he's posting have turned into a giveaway instead of an actual creator fan interaction. And do you know, I mean, obviously, you know, FaZe Banks.
Think I've heard of him.
Okay. He's like the owner of FaZe Clan. He has like
Sure.
he has like another project where he was posting like crypto vlogs on Twitter, and then it was the same thing. He just get big accounts to repost it or quote it. So it gets big visibility, and then he like brags about his numbers essentially.
Yeah.
Even though it's like it's not real, it's fabricated. Because
It's not the same as getting a YouTube video. You don't have to actually click on it.
Right. You just
to
get people to and then you also just get a bunch of people to retweet it for some cash incentive, and then it gets like views because it has a lot of retweets and likes, but it's like, are people actually watching your content? Probably not.
Sure. Yeah. Interesting. All right. So this next question, I wish I could shoot you up with truth serum because I'm gonna ask you this question. I don't know. No matter what you say, I don't know if I'm gonna believe you. Well, if you say no, I'll probably believe you. But be honest. Are you the world record egg?
Yes. I am the world record egg. Oh my God, that's a throwback.
No, you're not. There's no way. There's no way, right?
Did you actually go ahead.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the world record egg was a picture of an egg on Instagram that got the most likes of any post ever, and everyone was supporting this egg because they wanted to, I think, beat Kylie Jenner's number of likes on a photo. So the egg won, and Goose posted this video on YouTube, and I didn't see this until, you know, recently, but it was from a while back, and Goose posted this video of him like pulling out his phone, showing us him going on the account, and it's like, look, it's my account, I can edit the profile, but like, I don't know. Me and Dr. Jones were talking about this, and we didn't know what to. We're like, I guess you could do some video editing to like fake it here, but it looks pretty damn real.
So that was essentially my first, like
Viral
big moment.
post.
Yeah, first viral moments. It was all a sham. It was all fake.
Oh, damn it.
I milked that. I think there's probably like 5 other videos where I just keep milking it because it was getting views. But yeah, a lot of comments were like telling me very mean things. Like, I don't even know. It was like the craziest experience.
You were getting a lot of hate from that.
Oh yeah, so much hate.
So no one believed you.
No, I mean,
I don't know why they didn't, because
like
that video looked legit. It looked like, I don't even know how you edit it to look like, make your phone look like you had the damn.
I don't think back to how I did it. I think I went frame by frame. I took a screen recording on my phone of like my Instagram profile. I went frame by frame, and then changed it to world record egg, and then I played that video on my phone, and then I was fake scrolling, I think, but I was actually scrolling the video. It was very intricate. Before YouTube disabled dislikes, it was like 50-50. Or probably majority dislikes, to be honest. And then the comments were going crazy. Back. I agree. People are just like,
yeah, we need to show people what we don't approve. We like, I don't know. But yeah, you're the fucking master of viral content. And some viral content that'll be coming up in a month or two. I want to talk to you about this fight. We got Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. I guess first question, is it actually free? Why wouldn't they make it pay-per-view?
I mean, it's ran by Netflix, so anyone with a Netflix subscription gets to watch it. Yeah. And I think this is because they want to see the full scalability of like how many live, like they did the Tom Brady roast 2 is live on Netflix.
Yeah, so I think there's some NFL Christmas Day games on Netflix this year too.
Yeah, so I think they're just testing how live sports or live content could be distributed through Netflix or different streaming services, because I think you see a lot of, I mean, now they have all those NFL games on Peacock or Amazon Prime, so I think they're just trying to get a foot in the door and be a competitor to this. And I think I I don't know how many millions of homes have Netflix across the world, but I think Jake Paul and Mike Tyson is going to draw in everyone who has a Netflix account, you'd think. So I think it makes sense for it to be free.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, are Paul and Tyson still gonna take home those whatever, $50 million paydays that they'd usually be getting with a pay-per-view, you think?
Yes, because I think Netflix has the money based on all their, I mean, obviously they have successful original shows, and I think they have the money to spend. I think both guys are getting a huge bag. And then also the ticket sales at the actual event, I mean, they're filling up. Is it the Cowboys Stadium? I don't know. They're filling up.
God, it's a football
Yeah, they're
stadium.
filling up a football stadium for this fight. So I think they'll both get a lot of money, and I think the promotion hype around it. I mean, we were talking about it a couple months ago, even. I think it's there, and I think they will receive their payday 100%.
Hell yeah. Well, not for Jake Paul because I don't like him, but are they actually doing no knockout? Is that one of the rules? Okay, I heard they were doing no knockout.
Yeah.
And that pissed me off. I'm like, why? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
They're doing
so there was like right when the fight was announced, there was like a smear campaign or something, but someone posted an article with like all fake rules saying like no knockout. There was one that said like he could tag team like Logan Paul in or some shit. It was like it was the most bizarre. I mean, that made me mad because I'm a fan of. I mean, I recently became a fan of Mike Tyson too. I was watching a lot of his old fights because obviously I wasn't alive at that moment. But I do like Jake Paul's story as well, as much as a lot of people don't. I think what he's doing for boxing is awesome. So I think it makes sense. I don't remember what the question was, but
yeah, I don't. Oh, I was asking about the no knockout.
Oh, so the rules. Yeah, so they are knockout. They can do knockouts. The thing is, it's 14-ounce gloves, which is like big. So I actually have 14-ounce gloves.
They're bigger than usual. Yeah, pull them out.
Yeah. So as a boxer, for 1 month, going to boxing class and whatnot. So
this is training for one. I got to ask you about that too.
So yeah, that's actually a big streamer boxing thing that was going to happen, but oh no, these are 12-ounce. So these are already pretty big.
Okay.
I think standard they use like 8 or 10 for normal boxing fights.
So there's more padding than usual.
Yes, and there's more padding than even these. So it's going to be like a lot of people are saying a pillow fight. So a knockout is very improbable with 14-ounce gloves. So that's like the caveat. And then it's 8 rounds. And recently it got sanctioned, so it will be an official part of their boxing record. Which I don't know if that adds the stakes or makes it just more in favor of Jake Paul, but
what has Paul got? One loss?
Yeah, he has one loss by decision to Tommy Fury. Yeah.
Okay. So who are you rooting for? I know who I'm rooting for.
It's hard to pick a side here because I think in my brain, I feel like Jake Paul is going to win because it's set up for him to win.
Yeah, his career. They're putting pillows. Like, what is this? Come on.
Right. And his career would be over if he lost to a 6-year-old Mike Tyson. Like, where do you go from there? No one, like, you lost to an old guy, like an old man. So,
yeah.
I guess we'll have to see how they're swinging in the ring. But I think Jake Paul is going to win. I would love to see Tyson give him a fight and make it actually a competitive, but you just really don't know with all these like celebrity matches that have kind of been coming out recently. Like when Mike Tyson fought John Jones Jr., I think it was, over like COVID or something. It was like a hug fest basically. So I will just have to wait and see, but I think Jake's going to win. I kind of want Mike to win.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like me and most people watching are rooting for Mike to knock him out. But yeah, if he's wearing pillows on his hands, maybe that's not gonna happen. But yeah. So your pick is Jake, but you're rooting for Mike, but you still have that respect for Jake from going from YouTuber to boxer, which is that's what you might do, right? Can you talk about that fight? Did that already happen, or is that coming up, or?
So that fell through. So Aiden Ross, the biggest streamer on Kick, did boxing events for the first, I think it was 3 months of the year. And it was like super innovative in the space. And it was a super cool idea. And I was going to be on the third one because I called out this one. Quite frankly, can I say bad words on here?
You can say bad word. I mean, I have an F-bomb jar, but any other swear flies, and the F-bomb jar only applies to me. So you
Okay.
can say the
He's a
C word if
douchebag.
you
This
want.
kid was a douchebag. He was a loser. He says slurs to go viral. He's kind of like a lurker. He just kind of invites himself places to try to get clout. His name was
Okay.
Sam Bond.
Yeah.
So we had it set up. I was talking to Aiden a little bit, like just briefly on a call, confirming it. And then Sam Bond pulled out because he was scared. He's a very skinny guy. I would have probably destroyed him. So I would have been scared too. But I did take boxing training. I was training for like a month. I was ready for it.
And
But
he backed
unfortunately,
out.
oh yeah, he backed out. And then also the boxing event in general. After that third fight, there hasn't been another one since then because I guess there was like a head injury or something that caused the event to get like shut down.
Oh,
So
ETE.
lucky for Sam, it wasn't him. That would have been me ending it. But I mean, we'll see if it makes a return. Obviously, I'd try to get back in that. That's what I love doing is just trying to put myself in the most random situations and just see what happens.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, we'll just move on to the next thing. But Sam Bond is a coward, and that's my take on that.
Yeah. But no, that's a good point. You're always doing something like if you haven't seen any of Goose's content, go check him out. Right, Goose is loose on everything.
Goose is looser. Yeah. And then
Goose is looser.
Mm-hmm.
There's an R at the end. I wanted to ask you about the toaster.
Okay.
He for people who didn't see Goose, he somehow survived an electrical fire when he was making waffles on stream, and then he stuck a fork right into the toaster. How has it been rehabilitating from that injury?
So it actually did give me like a weird sense of like magnification
Magnetism?
abilities. Yeah. So like
Okay.
sometimes if I'm like walking past like if I go through like a metal detector, I'll hear like ringing in my ears and like I'll feel like a little sensation on my fingertips. Um Other than that, just I'm scared for when it thunderstorms outside. That's all.
Crazy. But yeah, that was a great moment. Um, so I guess before we finish off the show, I would like to talk some NBA playoffs with you because as I understand the NBA, that's probably your favorite sport
Hmm.
to follow. Um, we'll start with your Bucks as you're wearing a Bucks.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you're repping the Bucks there. Obviously, season didn't go how they planned. They had the injuries, which made it tough for them to beat Indiana. But as far as offseason goes, do you think the Bucks need to make any trades or signings, or do you have any thoughts on how they should go about this
Yeah.
offseason?
So I'm excited for this off season because I think it gives time. Because I feel like the whole last season was kind of a wash between the coaching problems, between the injuries, between the new players, and we haven't been able to figure out that chemistry because of all these other problems. Um, so I'm very excited for this offseason because I think it gives time for Giannis, and Dame and Doc to kind of create a hive mind and try to figure out what are the problems in this team and how can they fix them.
Hmm.
In terms of moves, I'm ready to get rid of Brooke Lopez. I'm ready to get rid of Bobby Portis. I'm ready to get rid of Pat Connaughton. It's been nice. But I think that these guys are getting older, and I
Yeah.
think that their impact has lessened as the years have gone by. As much as I love them and as much as they're Milwaukee cult favorites,
Yeah.
I feel like we need to get younger. And I think that there are moves to be made. I'm trying to think of like a specific guy that we could go after.
Ronnie
I've been,
James.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I get LeBron too. That would be absolutely
I don't know.
electric.
I saw a Photoshop of LeBron in a Bucks jersey. I'm like, this would be the perfect full circle moment for me. I could become a Bucks fan and never look back. But that's probably just a dream. You guys are taking Zach Edey round one, I think.
Yeah, I was about to
Um,
say that's what I've been seeing on Twitter is that's going to be our Brooke Lopez
he'd be
replacement,
a good
which
fit. He'd be a good fit.
I
And he
could see
can
him being a solid backup.
people don't know, but he can shoot the three. What was I gonna ask you? I was gonna ask you something else about the Bucks. Um, Well, I forgot. So who cares? But let's just talk about the NBA more in general. I'll just get right into it. Who's your NBA Finals pick right now? And I
Like
know there's 2 games tonight, but we can kind of I don't know.
from the West and the East, like what do I think the finals matchup is going to be?
Yeah.
And
Who
then
you
the
got?
winner.
Who you got winning
Um,
over who?
so as soon as the Nuggets went down 0-2, I put like $5 or $10 on the Nuggets to win the West. Because I felt like they were going to come back.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I'm somewhat of a clairvoyant, a good better basically. I saw this and I was like, I feel like the championship experience of the Denver Nuggets versus an inexperienced Timberwolves team and 2 blowouts. I'm like, this something's wrong here. It's not going to continue this way. So then I put money on the Nuggets to come back. Then now they're up 3-2.
yeah.
I should have bet on them in 6.
Damn.
But I had the Nuggets going to the finals. I think that they beat the Thunder because I think it also comes down to experience. I think the next couple years can be theirs, but right now I think the Nuggets still have one more in them. So I think it's going to be them. And unfortunately, as a Bucks fan, the Celtics have a cakewalk to the finals. It is absolutely
Every Bucks fan is looking at it, it's like, damn, we could have we were 1 series away. You know, if Giannis comes back healthy.
well, even if we did move on, we have to go against the Knicks, which Jalen Brunson obviously is playing out of his mind. But then the fact that the Celtics are playing, who did they play for? Who did they just? I mean, they lost.
They're playing the Cavs.
Yeah,
I
who
think
did they
Donovan
beat
Mitchell's
first
out again
round?
tonight. They beat the Heat without Jimmy
Yes,
Butler.
yeah,
Been a
yeah. So
cakewalk.
right, it's cakewalk, and yeah, Donovan Mitchell's been out. He's out tonight. He was out last game. That's going to be a cakewalk. And then them versus the Knicks. The Knicks have been battling in
Got a lot
long
of
series, a lot of injuries. Yes, and then also these series are being dragged out to extra games, like 6-7 games sometimes. So I think the Knicks are going to lose to the Celtics, and it's going to be pretty ugly in my opinion. But so I think it's going to be Celtics Nuggets, and as much as I want the Nuggets to win again, because I don't like the Celtics, I think it's finally the Celtics' year.
Oh no.
Which I hate to say. I hate to admit that because I don't think they're a good team. I think they're worse this year than they have been in the past couple years.
Number 18 coming in.
Yeah, but I think they're just due for number 18. Yeah, unfortunately.
Shoot.
I would love to see the Nuggets win again, but I think it's going to be those two. I don't think it's going to be the Celtics because I think they've been so close for so long. The tide will finally turn.
Sure. But yeah, you were spot on with the Nuggets, making that bet when they were down 0-2 in the series. I wish I'd talked to you last week because foolishly last week I changed on the show. I changed my finals pick from Nuggets Celtics to Timberwolves Celtics, which was just I don't know. I saw the 2 games. I'm like, oh, Nuggets can't come back from this, and here they are. They've won 3 in a row.
I think it's a lot of Anthony Edwards too. I mean, I think everyone was so mesmerized by his play in the first couple games.
Michael Jordan in a Minnesota Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, I've never watched Michael Jordan. I know a lot of other people have the same sentiment that like that's what it kind of felt like to watch him because it's ethical basketball. He's not going to the free throw line and taking all these free throws. It's a lot of mid range, sprinkled in with a few 3-pointers, a lot of driving and athleticism. It's very fun to watch. And he did drop 44 again, but he was just they unfortunately didn't win that game. But when you look at him, it's super fun to watch, and I think that the future is bright. I mean, I don't want to speak too soon because they could win in 7, but I mean, it's looking like it's all Nuggets going forward. But
yeah, it doesn't look like I don't know. It's tough. It's the first time all year they've lost 3 games in a row, so it just it's like everyone called the series over when they were all up 2-0, but now it almost feels like it's flipped, and the Nuggets have it in the bag.
yeah.
Speaking of the Nuggets, do you think Jokic deserved MVP, or would you have given it to Luka or Shea?
That's a good question. I think I would have given it to Luka personally because I feel like he was kind of due for one. I actually made a couple notes here. Luka averaged more points, more assists, and shot better from 3.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly what the stat was, but Luka was breaking his own previous records, and that was in essence the best season of his career so far. And I think he deserves. I think I'm just very confused why this award has only become offensive. I feel like the top two players, Jokic and Doncic, are shit fart at defense. They don't play any defense, and we're just forgetting about a whole half of the game.
Sure.
Like I feel like Giannis should get more consideration. Giannis, obviously the first player in NBA history to average 30 points while shooting 60% from the field goal.
I've heard this stat from so many Bucks fans.
I know. I mean, it's just I don't think
It's a
that
good
warrants
stat.
it is a good stat. I don't think it warrants MVP, but I'm just saying Giannis does that plus plays good defense and then doesn't get even like top 3 consideration is just kind of beyond me. He finished 4th, I believe. But still, I think, I mean, yeah, Jokic, Doncic aren't obviously not known for the defense. I think Jokic just had another one of his. Obviously, he's a very crazy player. We saw that last night when he dropped
barbecue chicken on Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, he absolutely cooked the hell out of him. So there's no doubting that Jokic is a great, great player. And he is an MVP caliber player, and it shines in the postseason. But I feel like throughout this regular season, I don't know if I've come to expect it personally from him or what, but it just didn't have the same effect on me. But I guess I'm not an NBA voter who probably doesn't even watch the games, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're not Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, he should not get a vote. Oh my God, that's so bad. He should not
Isn't
get a vote.
Isn't that hilarious that he gets a
vote?
I mean, he played in NBA and he covers it, but whatever.
Well, he covers it. He played terribly in the NBA and he covers it terribly, so he should not get a vote.
Hey, he got a ring. He got a ring, fool. Sitting on the bench and watching LeBron get it for him. But yeah, I guess anything else on the NBA, or I can, you don't have to do it, but this is going to be posted after tonight's games, but I could ask you to pick tonight's games, or if you don't want to take that risk, we can just talk about the series in general.
No, I'll smack some money down too. Let me look at the
All right, I got the spreads right here. Do you want to pick with the spreads?
Sure.
All right, we got first game is Cavaliers Celtics. Celtics minus 15.5.
That one's
no D Mitchell, no Spida.
No Mitchell. That's at Boston too, right?
That is at Boston, correct.
I could 1,000% see the Celtics winning by like 20 plus. That's expected clearly. But I also could see them making it a close game for no reason because the Heat without Jimmy Butler also had a couple close games.
Yeah.
So I would hedge towards Cavs plus 15.5.
But you think Celtics probably end the series tonight?
Oh yeah, I think they probably win by 15. I don't know.
Not 15 and a half.
It's gonna be close.
No, that's
I could see it go either way though.
That's a good hedge. And then let's talk the other game. We got your MVP, Luka Doncic and the Mavericks going to Oklahoma City playing the Thunder. Thunder are 4.5 point favorites.
Okay. Luka's kind of been mediocre in the playoffs, I would say.
He's had some off games for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say like completely mediocre, but yes, he has had some just poor shooting games. But what are they? It's 2-2 right now. They're in OKC.
All the t-shirts.
The OKC fans are loud.
Yeah.
They're electric. I would say once again, I mean, I feel like Luka always finds himself in close games. But I feel like the Thunder pull away. By more than 4.
All right. So 4.5 though. So yeah. So you got Thunder minus 4.5.
Yes.
All right.
5.
Awesome. I guess I only got one last question for you, unless you got any more thoughts on the NBA, or if you have any, any content you want to plug, anything you got coming up here.
No, not really. I'm just kind of going with the flow right now and waiting for the next big thing to pop into my life.
He does everything. You're not, you don't have a script for this shit. You just, you see an opportunity for a viral moment and you take it. But yeah, any other thoughts on the NBA? Otherwise, I just got one more question for you.
I'm just sad the Bucks are out. That's all.
Yeah, that is a thought. But yeah, Goose, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. I'm glad we could get like a full interview in. Last time, you came on for for 2 minutes just so I could ask you, oh, did the Bucks fire Adrian Griffin? So I appreciate you doing that. But this is definitely a lot more fun. So yeah, I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you having me on. It was a lot of fun. I love talking about, I mean, those are my favorite topics to talk about anyway. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right. So last question for you. What is your all-time favorite sports moment? Your favorite goosebump moment, as I would try to say.
I would have to say being in Deer District during that entire Buck summer. I swear, I'm not even making this up.
Right
I just
now.
got goosebumps. I just got goosebumps thinking about it.
Let's go.
Goose got goosebumps. But I think going there, like, for every single series and then just continuing to advance. And in my heart, it was like there was no way we were going to lose the series ever, like any of them. We just kept winning. And it was the coolest experience ever. It was like weird summer times because of the COVID year, the year before. So it was just like the most random. It was like also right after I graduated high school. So it was just like the culmination of so many different things and good vibes and getting hammered and sneaking in water bottles to Deer District. It was it was so awesome.
Actually, I did that too, I think.
Yeah. But I mean,
that's smart because, you don't want to wait 2 hours for a beer, which is what you had to do.
And then being downtown for game 6 too was like magical. It was so when we all won. I mean, I was probably drunk. I was probably high. I was even higher on life. It was just, and then everyone just celebrating. Oh my gosh!
Did you get the blender signed?
No signed blender, which sucked. But I did get.
Giannis loves smoothies.
He loves smoothies. I just tried for my first time a smoothie. I love Giannis, bro. But it was kind of cool, that championship parade. Like when I did that poster, one of the Wisconsin Herd G League guys from the float took a picture of the sign and me holding the blender. So that's a cool picture that
oh yeah, that's awesome.
That makes me feel good about that moment.
Hell yeah. Well, everyone go check out at Goose is Looser on every platform. He's everywhere. He's got a lot of good funny stuff and viral moments with Aiden Ross and Stephen A and everyone else. But yeah, Goose, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. It was fun.
All right, bro. We'll see you later. Once again, thank you, Goose, for coming on the show. I think you offered a lot of people some insight into kind of the content game, and I'm glad we got to talk a little Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Go Mike! And some NBA as well. Goose will be back on in the future, probably shortly. I'm sure this will be the most viewed episode yet, as his everything Goose touches turns to gold. Holy shit. That's not glazing, that's just me being a good friend, right, Goose? Okay, let's do the Goosebump moments of the week and forget about the last 15 seconds here. And let's start it off at number 10 with the former Brewer, Victor Caratini, walking it off for the Stros.
First time Caratini has faced Michael Kelly.
Up the middle, walk off for the second time this year. Victor Caratini wins it again for the Astros, 2-1.
Just give me a splash. That's all I'm looking for.
Comes off the bench for one at bat, and it's the biggest one of the night for the Astros.
Number 9, Adley Rutschman walk-off homer for the O's.
Against him in the 9th inning on Monday. Rutschman, high in the air to right field. Springer at the wall. Springer waiting. Goodbye! Walk-off home run! Game over!
So that is now 4 home runs in the last 3 games for Adley Rutschman.
A truly ridiculous way to end this truly ridiculous game.
Number 8, Luis Arraez gets a walk-off welcome to San Diego.
Line to center field, a base hit. Wade's coming around from second. Here comes the throw. He will be safe. Welcome to San Diego, Luis Arraez. A walk-off base hit. Padres win it.
Number 7, Casey Schmidt's first hit of the year is a walk-off. What?
Driven out into left center field. Can anybody get there? No. And this game is over. Casey Schmidt his first hit of the year.
Number 6, Brandon Nimmo, walk-off homer for the Mets.
For Nimmo. 3-2, Nimmo. Deep to right center. Still going. It's over! Oh, what a story! Brandon Nimmo, the hero after getting injured yesterday. Off the bench and wings it with a walk-off shot.
Are you kidding me?
Number 5, Andrew Nemhard's longest career 3 is the game winner.
Step back, his three-pointer. Bang! Nemhard knocks the 3 down. Timeout, Knicks.
Number 4, Artemi Panarin, OT winner for the New York Rangers.
Back down. Off the stick of Orlov. Puck comes in front. Score! The Rangers take a 3-game-to-none lead. A minute 43 seconds into overtime. Kochetkov is stunned.
Number 3, Connor Garland completes the 3-goal comeback for the Canucks.
2 and 3, and here comes Garland in. Fakes the shot. Score! Connor Garland!
Number 2, Evan Bouchard, OT game winner for the Oilers.
Moving in. Different scores! Went off a Canuck stick! And the Oilers have evened the series!
Number 1, Evan Bouchard wins it for Edmonton again. Again.
Bouchard scores!
We got a regular Jamal Murray out here in the hockey world with Evan Bouchard. 2 game winners in the same series. I'm sorry, Poker Pair. I still haven't been watching hockey. I keep up with it so I can put in the goosebump moments. But that Oilers Canucks series, the top 3 goosebump moments of the week were all Oilers Canucks. So that series looks electric. So I might actually have to tune in for that. Like I said, I'm gonna get into hockey. I might reserve it for the Stanley Cup, and that's a cop out, but I cop out a lot. But fuck cops. And there's your dollar for the F-bomb jar. There's gotta be one every episode, right? Auntie Julie. Let's finish off the show here with a new segment. This segment is called I'm an Idiot. I covered this at the top of the show where I foolishly switched my Nuggets pick to the Timberwolves pick. So now it's almost like I'm doing the re-updated NBA Finals pick. But yeah, a couple nights ago, after the Nuggets tied it up, I called into a Sirius XM radio show. And if anyone knows Rob Perez at Worldwide Wobe on Twitter, if you're as chronically on Twitter as me and obsessed about the NBA as me, you definitely know Wobe or Wob. I don't know how you say it. I think I called him Wob on the show, but I called him in. I'm like, hey, after game 2, everyone was saying the series is over. The Timberwolves got it. Now that Denver did the same thing, they won 2 on the road in Minnesota. Can I flip it now? Can I say the Nuggets won? He said, what about this series makes you think it's over? What about the series that you've watched would make you think this is over at all? And he had a good point there. It's like, why would I flip it? But now that they've won another game after that Sirius XM call, I kind of do. But what Rob was kind of saying was home court in the playoffs and in general is a fallacy. He said it's worth maybe 1 point at most. But if we are to go with Rob's theory here that home court is a fallacy, Minnesota does not have home court in game 6. They don't. They're on. They're at a fallacy. They're essentially on the road. I think the Nuggets take it. Unfortunately, I want to root with my guy Chiak, with my guy Anthony Edwards on the Wolves. Not that Anthony Edwards is my guy, but I should maybe double back and go to my OG finals pick, which was the Denver Nuggets, which was a great pick because the Nuggets are a great team. They're, championship proven already. Jokic is the best player in the world, and it's not even close. Nuggets in 6?